Welcome back to the deep dive. Last time, we talked about PsyOps, psychological operations, and how they can work like this psychological Trojan horse, right? Designed to slip past our defenses.
Exactly, to turn our own thinking against us, subtly.
So today, we're going beyond the how and getting into the who. We promised direct proof.
That's the mission, concrete evidence. We're focusing on one specific figure, Konstantin Rozhkov, maybe better known to some of you as Real Reporter.
And we're going to show undeniable ties to Russia Today, or RT, and by extension, the Kremlin. It really exposes the manipulation tactics.
Yeah, and we've got some heavy-hitting sources. There's a new Russian language investigative report that really lays it all out.
Plus, we have a transcript from Rozhkov himself from an interview right after his YouTube channel got banned. He presents himself as this, honest guy just trying to make content.
And the contrast between that narrative and the actual evidence, well, it's pretty shocking. We think you'll find the juxtaposition really reveals how this game is played.
Okay, so let's set the stage. Konstantin Rozhkov, Real Reporter, on YouTube. Big platform.
Oh, yeah. The sources say 330,000 subscribers. Some videos getting millions of views. This wasn't some small-time blogger.
Right. And in that interview, just 2 days after his channel vanished, he said he was shocked and devastated.
He really played the victim card. Said he spent 3 years building it from nothing, turned it into a business, sponsorships.
Even complained about how tough it was financially, operating out of Russia, painting himself as this independent entrepreneur.
He even broke down his channel's history into what he called 3 lives.
Okay, what were they?
Well, first phase, he said, was just grassroots stuff in Russia. You know how sanctions were hitting everyday life, shops, gas stations.
Like a man on the street view. Plausible enough.
Then the second phase, starting around 2023, he shifted focus. Started featuring foreigners, especially Americans, moving to Russia.
That sounds familiar. We talked about that theme before, didn't we? With channels like Russian Code.
Exactly the same playbook. And he claimed some of those videos got millions of views.
Okay, so phase 1, local life.
Yeah.
Phase 2, foreigners finding happiness in Russia. What was phase 3?
That started, he said, around early 2025, so it had been running about 6 months when he did the interview. He started interviewing military experts, discussing modern warfare, but specifically from a, quote, Russian perspective or Russian lens.
So a clear progression. Everyday life, then attracting foreigners, then direct military and geopolitical commentary. That feels strategic.
It certainly does. And when he was asked point blank in that interview, is your channel propaganda? How did he react?
Let me guess. Denial.
He called it a lazy label, said people just slap it on anything they disagree with or simply don't like.
The classic deflection.
And he said they do it without facts or evidence. He actually challenged critics to be specific. We'll come back to that demand later.
Okay. And there was a specific report from the OCCRP, the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, claiming he got money and support from RT. How does he handle that?
Total denial. Said there was zero evidence, just allegations and rumors.
But did he deny ever working for RT?
No, he admitted he used to work there. But he insisted he quit years ago, said he built his YouTube channel as his own independent business.
Right. So this narrative is former RT guy, yes, but now totally independent, unfairly targeted, victim of rumors.
Precisely. He framed those reports as just red flags used to justify shutting him down.
Okay, that's his story. Plausible on the surface, but now let's bring in that Russian investigative report. What does it say?
Well, right off the bat, a major contradiction. The Real Reporter YouTube channel. It was registered in March 2022.
March 2022. That's just after the full-scale invasion started.
Exactly, 1 month after. And critically, after RT itself got banned or blocked on many Western platforms.
And where was it registered?
Not in Russia, Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan. So RT gets sanctioned globally, and a month later, an independent channel run by a former RT employee pops up, registered in a neighboring country.
The timing is suggestive, to say the least.
And what about the content? According to the report, did it stay grassroots?
Not for long. After some initial travel stuff, it shifted hard into themes the report identifies as straight from the Kremlin playbook.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Things like why Russian women take up arms, or how the Russian heartland cured an American Marine. Another one. Why Canadian large families are criticized at home but loved in Russia.
Okay, so promoting traditional values, Russian strength, criticizing the West.
Yeah.
Pretty standard state narratives.
Textbook stuff. And remember, he operated anonymously at first.
Right. What did the report find about his identity reveal?
He later confirmed he was Konstantin, acknowledging his background in Russian TV, specifically RT documentary. But here's the real kicker, the smoking gun.
Okay.
The report found that some videos on his Real Reporter channel were the exact same stories he had previously produced and aired on RT.
Wait, not similar stories. The exact same videos.
Identical content. Re-uploaded, rebranded as his own independent work.
That's brazen. That's not just influence, that's direct content recycling. What happened when the investigators asked him about that? Did he try to explain it?
Nope. No explanation, no denial. He just deleted those specific videos from his channel.
Deleted them.
Poof. Gone. Actions speak louder than words, right? It looks like a clear attempt to hide the direct link.
Absolutely. And the report didn't stop there, did it? It went into the finances. This seems like the nail in the coffin for his independent claim.
It really is. The tax data, according to the report, shows Konstantin Rozhkov kept receiving money from ANO TV Novosti.
Which is?
That's the legal entity for RT. He kept getting paid by them until at least the end of 2024.
Until the end of 2024. So his claim of quitting years ago.
Completely false. The report states that in 2023 alone, he got over 8 million rubles from RT.
8 million rubles. How much is that roughly per month?
Around 700,000 rubles a month. That's a very substantial salary, especially in Russia.
So he's claiming financial hardship, building this independent channel from scratch, asking viewers for donations.
Yeah, he often had links asking for support, buy me a coffee type things.
While secretly pulling in a massive salary directly from the state broadcaster he claimed to have left years before.
It dismantles his entire narrative. The financial proof is undeniable. It shows the persona was a complete fabrication, weaponizing that image of the struggling independent creator.
And this isn't just about Rozhkov acting alone, is it? This fits into a much bigger picture, a deliberate strategy from RT after they faced bans.
Exactly. When the EU banned RT, when YouTube kicked them off globally in 2022, they didn't just give up, they pivoted. They started laundering their content, masking state propaganda by funneling it through channels presented as independent blogs.
Content laundering. That's a good term for it. Like money laundering, but for propaganda. And our sources connect this to that Russian code channel we mentioned.
Directly. Russian code pushed the Westerners moving to Russia for traditional values angle. It got banned. So what happened?
They just started a new one.
Pretty much. The investigation found the same authors created a new channel called Russian Road, running the exact same concept. New name, same game. It's a standard Kremlin tactic to bypass bans.
And the report identified the people behind Russian Road. Were they actually independent?
Not at all. The investigation traced it to two individuals, Artyom Vorobey and Pavel Baydakov.
And their connection.
Both confirmed RT employees. Vorobey is listed as a documentary filmmaker right on RT's website. Baydakov's a director who's worked for RT for 18 years.
So RT employees running a supposedly independent channel pushing Kremlin narratives. Any other connections?
Yeah, many of the people interviewed on Russian Road, these supposed ordinary expats, had also popped up on actual RT programs telling very similar stories. It's all interconnected.
A whole ecosystem. So Rozhkov isn't an isolated case. Who else fits this pattern?
Another one highlighted is Alexandra Yost, or Sasha Meets Russia. She's a young American-Russian citizen.
And her link.
Officially employed by RT since March 2023, according to the sources. She makes these, very polished, idealized videos about life in Russian cities.
But with propaganda baked in.
Definitely. Standard lines like, it wasn't Russia saying we must fight to the last Ukrainian. And guess what happened when her first channel got blocked?
She just launched a new one.
Bingo. Same messaging, new channel. Rinse and repeat.
This theme of attracting Westerners with traditional values seems really central. Is there an official program behind it?
Oh, yes. It's called the Welcome to Russia Project, and one of its co-founders is Maria Butina.
Maria Butina.
Okay.
The name rings a bell. State Duma deputy was involved in some controversy in the U.S. a few years back.
That's the one. And this project openly aims to help foreigners who support traditional Russian spiritual and moral values immigrate to Russia. It was even launched by Putin in August 2024.
So direct state involvement. It's not grassroots at all.
Not even pretending to be at that level. And the financials around this project get really interesting, especially with people living outside Russia.
Okay, like?
Take Martin Helt. He's an Austrian entrepreneur, also co-founder of Welcome to Russia. His company is called Fancy Nerds.
What does it do?
It's a VPN service. And its main selling point, providing access to blocked content, like RT.
Convenient.
And the money. The report says Fancy Nerds got 45 million rubles from RT between 2023 and 2024. And get this, RT was its only source of income.
45 million rubles. Entirely from RT. Yet he's Austrian, living in Austria.
That's the kicker. While promoting this move to Russia via Welcome to Russia and running an RT-funded VPN, he and his family bought a house near Vienna for €500,000. His kids go to Austrian schools.
Wow. The hypocrisy is staggering. Pushing a narrative for others while living the complete opposite life, funded by the very state whose narrative he's pushing.
It really exposes the cynicism, doesn't it? And what about the other co-founder?
You mentioned Maria Bettina, Martin Helt. Who else?
Alina Lipp, she's a German blogger, also involved with Welcome to Russia. She's actually facing criminal charges in Germany for justifying Russian aggression.
And her financial link.
She also received payments from Martin Helt's company, Fancy Nerds, marked as salary.
So the VPN funded by RT is paying the salaries of other pro-Kremlin figures involved in this Welcome to Russia project.
Seems that way. Lipp admitted getting the payments, but tried to explain it away, saying it was hard to get euro donations, so she used Fancy Nerds for a short time.
Okay, so when you put all these pieces together, Rozhkov, Russian Road, Sasha Yost, Welcome to Russia, Helt, Lipp, the money trails, what's the big picture? What's the point of all these independent voices?
The sources are very clear. This isn't about documenting reality. It's described explicitly as a weapon aimed at destabilizing the West.
A weapon.
Yes, by targeting audiences from so-called hostile countries. The goal isn't just immigration. It's to attract what they call spiritual immigrants.
People whose values align with the Kremlin's narrative, who can then be used to sow division back home.
Exactly. Though it's interesting to note the actual numbers. Butina herself said only about 3,500 citizens from unfriendly countries moved to Russia between 2022 and 2023.
That doesn't sound like a huge success.
Especially when you compare it to the estimated 650,000 Russians who left Russia in the same period. So the program might not be achieving its stated goal effectively.
But as an influence operation, as a way to inject these narratives into Western discourse, using seemingly authentic voices.
That's where its real strategic value likely lies for the Kremlin.
Okay, let's circle back to Rozhkov's interview one last time. Because beyond the rebranding and the financial deception, he used another key tactic, didn't he? When confronted directly.
Yes, a very slick, very common tactic. Shifting the burden of proof.
How does that work?
Notice, when accused of RT ties, he doesn't flat out deny any current connection in a way that could be easily proven false with, say, tax records.
Right. He admits the past connection, but claims it ended years ago.
Exactly. Then he puts all the pressure on the accuser. He demands they provide specifics, facts, evidence. He says there's zero evidence. He's getting RT money now.
So unless you can produce the smoking gun right there in the moment.
His claims look stronger. He creates this illusion of innocence without ever directly refuting the core accusation in a verifiable way. It reframes the whole thing.
It stops being about finding the truth and becomes a game of prove it.
Exactly. A logic game where the accuser has to do all the work, and any gap in their immediate evidence is spun as proof of innocence.
And for these kinds of operatives, truth isn't the goal anyway, is it?
Not at all. It's just a tool. They don't need to prove they're clean. They just need to make it hard for you to prove they're dirty. And that confusion, that deflection, is the win. It's incredibly effective and used widely.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. Today, we really went deep on unmasking Real Reporter. We laid out the evidence from that Russian investigation, the registration, the content duplication, the RT payments that just demolishes Konstantin Rozhkov's independent persona.
And we highlighted those two key tactics used across this network. First, content laundering, rebranding banned channels like Russian Code into Russian Road to sneak back onto platforms.
And second, that insidious shifting of the burden of proof, demanding accusers provide perfect evidence while avoiding direct, verifiable denials themselves.
And it's crucial to understand why this matters to you listening right now. Even if you don't trust your own government, these Kremlin tactics aren't designed to help you.
Right. They're aimed squarely at destabilizing your society, eroding trust, sowing chaos. They're informational bullets.
It's information warfare, pure and simple, designed to turn your own mind, your own attention, into an unwitting amplifier for their goals.
So it leaves us with a really critical question, doesn't it? In this environment, where information is weaponized, where evidence is met with demands for more evidence just to deflect, how do we build real digital resilience?
How do we keep our minds our own, not get pulled by these invisible strings? What really stood out to you from everything we uncovered today? Something to think about.